Hello everyone, welcome to the first night of the Click, Speak, Connect with Me webinar. My name is Lydia Dolly. I am the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Click, Speak, Connect. Thank you for joining us. We will be starting the webinar now. We ask you to make sure that you are mute. The mute button should be on the bottom of the screen. Our chat moderator is my personal friend, Nikki, and she will ask your questions. So if you have any questions during the session or during the Q&A session, Nikki will ask a few questions in the 30 minutes Q&A session. And now, this is where you can get excited. I'm giving 3 pixie pals to 3 people. Pixie Pal is a world-first AAC, portable, customizable, durable, affordable, splash-proof, modular and easy-to-use light-tech communication device. It comes with a body strap and multiple communication boards, or you can print your own communication boards and put them in the snaps. Also, I'm giving a box of Click, Speak, Connect, swag gear and AAC gear to one person. In the CSC box contains a CSC tote bag, a CSC t-shirt, a CSC coffee mug, and 2 AAC awareness bracelets, and an AAC sticker that you can put on your laptop from Maggie. And I highly recommend checking her out on Instagram at the Bookish SLP. To win one of the CSC giveaways, you take a selfie with the webinar in the background and post it to Instagram or Facebook. Then you write about what you learned from one of the webinar sessions in the description. And on Thursday night during my session, I'll name the 4 winners. Now it's time for the main event. Our first keynote speaker is Mike Hipple. Mike had to strive and even fight to have his voice heard because of his disability and the fact that he has to use a communication device to do most of his communication. Despite Mike's setbacks, he hasn't given up and has been able to make his voice heard. The help of mentors, parents, his communication device, and with a determination, Mike has been able to achieve what many might not have thought he could. Mike is from Appleton, Wisconsin, and he is working to give others a voice, just as his mentors Sharon, Jen, and Stacy, a speech therapist and a physical therapist, respectfully helped Mike with his communication through augmentative and alternative communication, AAC. Mike strives to help and work with people who have a communication challenge. Please give a warm welcome to Mike Hipple. Take it away, Mike.
Good evening. Thanks for inviting me tonight to share my AAC journey. I am 25 years old and live in Appleton, Wisconsin. AAC helps me live a good life. I am involved in my community, a job search, active with Kiwanis, which is a local service organization, a conference presenter, active with state and national organizations that promote AAC, and founded Wisconsin AAC Network. As you know, October is AAC Awareness Month. Many people use AAC every day without even knowing they do. They text, they write notes, they type a message on Facebook. Their facial expression are all a way of communicating without speaking. Did you know that in the 1950s people started using AAC? The first people who used AAC were people who lost their speech after surgery. The 1960s and 1970s gave rise to the disability rights movement. Communication skills were and still are vital to success in the community. Sign language and picture symbols were used to help people communicate. AAC emerged in the 1980s as a field of its own. The development of the microcomputer and speech synthesizer paved the way for devices of today. Wisconsin has a great history of AAC. TFFU University, you might know this university by a different name, Wisconsin University of Stevens Point. It is one of the oldest speech and hearing programs in the country. The devices of the 1980s and 1990s were so different from today. So I hope you enjoyed your AAC history lesson. Back to my history. I was born in 1995. I have a diagnosis of cerebral palsy that affects my motor skills and speech. Doctors write in their reports that I am nonverbal. I say I can hold a conversation with anybody. My mom teases I am the chattiest nonverbal person you will ever meet. I started in the Birth to 3 program. The speech therapist helped my family into the world of picture symbols. Mom teased we had pictures all over our house. Mom made up binders of pictures. She was the queen of laminating and bought rolls of Velcro. Very early I used pictures to identify and make requests. You know, toy choices, snack choices, any way they could give me a choice they did. My family used those laminated symbols on Velcro boards and put 3 and 4 pictures together to make a sentence. I loved to be read to. A favorite activity was to make up stories and plays using the laminated pictures. My brother and friends helped me act out the play, and my parents recorded us on our camcorder. It was popular in the 1990s. At the same time, school started me off with low-tech devices like the Big Mac switch and a 4-choice low-tech device. I use it in calendar time and circle time to involve me with my peers. When I got older, we used the step-by-step switch when it was news to time. It was good to be involved, but it was my 1 to 1 or the teacher's words. I would hit it was my hand, but I have lots of extra motion, so it was not so easy. At age 3, I moved to school system. My parents worked, so they found a nice daycare. At age 3, I went to school a half day and went to full day kindergarten at age 5. Appleton is pretty big, so school district is big too. Appleton Area School District had a assistive technology team. They started to look at speech-generating devices. I had an evaluation at the CP Center in Green Bay, and a device was selected for me. This was all new to my family, so they let the experts make the decisions. There was some type of trial, but with only one device. That device was ordered for me. My family teases they made many mistakes because they just did not know, and they did not know any other families who had a nonverbal child for them to talk to and learn from. They let others make the decisions. Remember, this was in the 1990s, so there were computers, but nothing like the tech explosion that happened in the early 2000s. So I received my first speech-generating device in 2001. Problem solved. Let the communicating begin. My family and school team thought this was great. We got Mike a communication device. Our work is done, but it did not happen that way. When I think back, I felt so much pressure to now start communicating everything. My first communication device was not the right device for me because I had to spell everything. I was in first grade. School was not my favorite place. When you were in first grade, could you spell everything? No, I did not think so. It did have some built-in sentences, so that was good. My speech therapist and my one-on-one aide could add my favorite things into the device. I did do some selecting with it. I could not make sentences like I could do now. I did not have the vocabulary to share my frustrations like I do now. I started to use behavior to communicate my frustration. And I do not mean good behavior. This was not fair to my teacher, IEP team, or my family. I still am lucky enough to talk to my one-on-one aide from kindergarten to 6th grade and my special education teacher, and they always say to my community aide the following sentence: I wasn't as lucky as you are. You get to talk to Mike, have real conversations. I wished for real conversations in my early school years too. I was so frustrated with my life. I did not know why I did not have the right voice. My 3rd grade class was going to a play. I remember thinking this: I did not want to see the play, and I did not know how to use my communication device to ask my teacher if I could do something else. My teacher, me and my class were at the play, and I was acting out because I did not want to see the play. That was a low point for me. I think I had 3,000 minutes in time out in 3rd grade. Looking back, it's so important to do feature matching when considering a device and several trials to get the right device. My mom and I do a lot of presentations. She always tells this story. My family would not have blamed the school if they said we tried this device with Mike in 1st and 2nd grade, and he just does not get it. He is not appropriate for AAC. Boy, I hate to think about what my life would have been if I never had AAC. My family always believed in me. They said Mike can communicate, we just have to find the right system. In 2004, my amazing speech therapist, who was also the AAC specialist for the AT team, went to a conference called Closing the Gap. It was at that conference, in their amazing vendor hall, that Jen learned about the PRC company, the Minspy Community programs. Medical assistance only pays for a new device every so many years, so we had to wait till 5th grade to do a trial. My parents, me and my team decided on a Vanguard. PRC devices opened my world up so I could make sentences on my own. Their combination of picture symbols and words made sense to me. I used the symbols to make sentences, express my emotions, and in my school work. I had conversation using my own thoughts. Remember, I told you I got the first device when I was in 1st grade. There was no one in my school who was not verbal. I felt so alone. There was no one like me. My family asked if I could be paired with other communicators in my school. They were told there were other students who used paper communication boards, but I was the first to use a device. The RC opened my world to the AAC community too. My family and I met the first adult AAC communicators at Authentic Voices of America. It was a camp for AAC communicators. I had to wait to turn 12 before I could go. I will never forget my first camp. Eventually, there were a few AAC communicators in my school district, 2 girls and me. Remember, I only had 2 classmates that used AAC, and the 3 of us were beginners. So to be at a camp with 17 AAC communicators and to meet John, the camp director, who was also an AAC communicator, was great. My parents still talk about how meeting John and other adult campers gave them hope for my future. You and I met at camp. I loved the activities and just hanging out. It is amazing the impact experienced communicators can have on beginning communicators. I remember one year a girl came to camp. Her mother said she received her device a couple of months earlier and she was not interested in using it. At the end of a week of camp, she used her device to tell her mother she loved her. Another AAC community that has helped me in my AAC journey is United States Society of Alternative Augmentative Communication. It is one organization for communicators, their families, and professionals that work to promote AAC. Check out usc.org and consider joining. Very reasonable for communicators and their families. The benefits that helped me the most are information about AAC on their website and seeing people who use AAC in leadership roles. My journey was impacted by so many people that believed in me. I wanted to give back, so that is why I founded Wisconsin AAC Network. We bring Wisconsin's AAC stakeholders all together. We host quarterly meetings in 8 regions in the state. We're present on different topics and save time for sharing. It was important to have support for the communicators, so we have chat clubs for communicators, website with lots of helpful information, and planning a day camp for communicators and their families. I have been on this amazing journey for 21 beautiful years, and I could not believe the people I call my friends now. Some of them I have looked up to for years. I am blessed. I do not know where your audience is on their AAC journey, but always remember to believe in your AAC communicator. I am so glad my family and school team did not give up on me, as I have so much I want to do and share.
Oh.
Do we? Have. Any. Questions? Do we have any questions?
So I don't see any questions in the chat yet, but Renee Topper just said that my daughter is 12 and AAC user for 7 years. And then Mike, your story is very similar to the journey that they went on. And then we have a question. Deanna, Deanna asked, do you have advice for people planning to enroll in college classes?
I would.
Okay, she had a follow-up, but do you recommend online classes for college?
Say. Try. Hit. And I love. Oh. N. K. L. Online. Classes. Because. They can. Work. On. Work. When. They are. Are. E. Ready. I would say try it, and I love online classes because they can work on work when they are ready.
All right, should we do one more question? Is that good? Okay. So there's one similar one. Sharon and Tanya, they said just for kind of the SLPs and the SLPs or assistive technology specialists, what can they do to kind of assist the users of the AACs in areas of like literacy, or just different ideas that they can help with the users?
M. E. N. T. Mentor. Mentors. R. Amazing. I had. 1. That. I could. Talk. to. Him. Anytime. How about anything? Mentors are amazing. I had one that I could talk to him anytime about anything.
And then Lydia, someone asked how they can watch this webinar again. I know you're recording. Are you going to post it on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Wanted to type some chat.
Bye. I will. Post the R E C recordings on our website. After Thursday, and they will. Does she think? Stay up until November 15th, 8th. I will post the recordings on our website after Thursday and they will stay up until November 8th. It.
Lydia, can I tell your audience what type of access system Mike uses since it's kind of unique?
Yes.
Mike uses a PRC device. This is his fourth device, an Accent 1400, but how Mike accesses it, he uses the ASL mouse emulator system. So there's different spots in the head array for left, down, left, right, up, down, and select, and that's how he moves the cursor around. Initially, he started with inverse scan, but that was very slow and tedious, and Mike's as you could hear from his presentation, Mike's a little more of an action guy. So the experts that work with Mike here in town had to come up with a faster access system for him. Mike has lots of extra movement of his hands and his arms, so any type of direct select just wasn't working out for him. But the mouse emulator system really has worked out very well for him. He's very accurate and he's increased his speed. So as you're looking at, as your audience is looking at different access systems, keep that in mind.
That's awesome. Thank you. Four. Sharing. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful story. Mike, you're so amazing. Now we are going to end our first session of Click, Speak, Connect with Me webinar. I hope you had a fabulous time and learned a lot. Tomorrow will be the second session where Krista Howard will talk about her life with ASC. So come on back here at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific Standard Time. Also, don't forget to post a selfie on Facebook or Instagram regarding what you have learned from tonight's session to qualify for the giveaway. Please use hashtag CSC with me 2020 or tag ClickSpeakConnect. We will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.